Hello, friends. Welcome to Magic with Melly. It's good to see you guys, face to face. I think it's been a while since I've shown face on Magic with Melly, but all in all, it's all for good reason. Um, Being able to work from home, you get to be as dressed up or not as dressed up as you'd like to be. And I don't have to show face if I don't want to. And this time here I am. So this reading is special because last week I took a break, an unexpected break, and now I'm back, and I'm back with a bonus. So here it is. I'm burning some sage for you guys, and I'm just here to channel the messages. We have the moon out back of the deck, so it's indicative that there's secrets with just the moon, how the moon is symbolized. It's like the information is always there. It's like when you see a moon in the daytime, you can still see the moon in our sky. It may be harder to locate, it may be harder to find, but it's still there. And I think that the light, the sun really illuminates or helps hide the moon accordingly. And I feel like that may be some of the energy surrounding your situation. Now, you could be in a situation where you're wondering about somebody or wondering about your role or importance in a situation, right? Like this is a message for those people who resonate with being special, or they have a special someone that they're curious about, or that there's some special gifts that you're tuning into or learning a lot about yourselves and sharing who you are. There's all sorts of cool energies happening in the collective. I think there's a lot of very unique individuals here with me who have so many unique things that you do and are good at. And this message is all about, I guess, unlocking more of what makes us special and what makes us the same and different, and being safe, feeling safe to share, feeling safe to have certain secrets be revealed. I feel like secrets they're important here because I think the message related to secrets here is that there is an emphasis surrounding secrets, and they could have both a good and bad context. Keeping secrets can really separate you from friends, but it can also keep you closer. Like it could bring you closer to your friends, because when you know a secret about someone, it connects you to that person in a way that that person is not connecting to anyone else. Like they're not sharing the same information with everyone else. And I think that's really sacred. I think that you guys are dealing with a very special or sacred situation where you want to protect your gifts, you want to protect your person, protect the position that you're in, whatever it is. I think that there is important messages surrounding you guys and what you're going through. So I have tarot, and it's gonna only be tarot tonight. Today is a bonus video. I'm so just thrilled to feel confident enough to change things up and go with the flow. And I think an important message you guys may be needing right now is let it go and go with the flow. Maybe that's an affirmation that you need, is let it go. Because sometimes you could really sabotage something special or something sacred by not letting go of negative or frustrating feelings. So I think letting it go and let it flow. So if you just let go of your negative energy surrounding stuff and then let things flow surrounding that energy, I think you'll see a transformative time, because you're sitting in a mind space with positivity. towards what it is that's important to you. And you're open to having space for it by removing negativity and letting, that by removing it, you're letting in the space to be filled by something that you want, or for more of what you want, right? Maybe you guys already are seeing that special someone, or sharing your special gifts, but it's like, how can we keep going, or how can we make sure it's protected, make sure nothing happens to it, nothing gets in the way of things, all sorts of cool energies there. So I was clearing some space, so that's fun. This reading is for my collective, so we're looking for messages for the highest good for the collective at this time. Just inquiring about what is so special about the collective. What do we need to know about what's so special about either the collective or what's going on for them, and what we should do surrounding such special and amazing energy. I am so thankful to share such a space with such special people. And I think that special people need to be treated special. And if you haven't been treating yourself very nicely, or, treating your unique self in the ways that are, uniquely necessary for you, then you ought to start doing that now. And a part of that is through understanding who you are, and perhaps releasing. Okay, because we have all the cards that just shot up that you saw. We have a Seven of Swords. So this energy with the Seven of Swords is giving me this energy of, you don't feel strong or confident enough to walk away from whatever it is that isn't seeing how special and how amazing you are. And perhaps in this scenario with this Seven of Swords, you're seeing someone who is keeping secrets from you, that maybe that you are special, but the other person or the other people involved don't match your energy. They either see you as less, or they see you as more, or you see the other people involved as less, or you see them as more. Either way, I think that there is an imbalance with perspectives, and it makes it kind of hard to let go, because you're still stuck in trying to understand the other side, if that makes sense. Like, you're still trying to make sense of something, like, why don't they see me or see the situation the way I do? A lot of wondering why, I suppose, like, why Spirit's indicating to reject certain things, or like why Spirit indicates that some things are for you and some things are not for you. Like, how come in our life experiences we don't only just experience things that are for us? Like, why is it that? I think that's something you guys may be pondering on. Like, why is certain things left unknown, unresolved? Like, why are some things playing out or being experienced the way that it is? Because we see this is like rejection. The Four of Cups here looks like rejection. This individual has their arms crossed. There's a cup coming in from this guy, and he's just not having it. He'd rather pay attention to the Three Cups he already has. And in tarot, the Three of Cups can be indicative of friends, community. It could be a third party energy potential. It's that's only if that's something that was already on your radar. If it wasn't on your radar, don't worry about it. But if it was on your radar, it's this energy of paying a lot of attention to your surroundings or your community, and ignoring what's coming in for you, because there's attachment or like things left unsaid, things left undone, like unfinished business. And sure, it may be there may be unfinished business, but it's this energy towards, we have the Empress out, so it's surrounding like what you are creating, like the life that you're creating, the types of things that you create. Maybe you guys are creators, you guys have, again, you get the collective here is special. There's something that makes you special, and you guys may be aware of what it is, or you're here in this reading trying to figure out your placements. We have some on the floor. So we have 3 of Swords on the floor and the Hierophant. So I think that just the way that the cards are showing up, I think that there was an energy in the situation that had a hard time releasing the past, or releasing past pain, or to detriment of being able to commit to something. I think that there has been trauma or just a bad experience that prevents somebody here from wanting to try, and it's like you get stopped in your tracks because you don't want to see failure again, but you see failure by not even trying. You're giving yourself an automatic failure by not even trying. So we have the Hierophant and the 3 of Cups. I think you guys are experiencing this a little bit by just continuing to not do something towards your situation, whatever it is, whatever is special or important to you at this time. It could be a lot of self-love, recognizing how special you are, and how a lot of what you've experienced in the past had nothing to do with you, but it still affected you, even if like some problems with others is really not a personal problem. It's a them thing and not a you thing. But when it happens, it a lot of times feels like a you thing. So I think some of us are needing this reminder of who you are, that you are special, that you have things about yourself that are deserving of being shared, and that it's not fair for those around you who love you to keep your gifts a secret and to keep how special you are a secret. And there are people who are looking for you. You know, they're literally looking for you. They're looking for the one. They're looking for their next best friend. They're looking for, like, you know, a position to fill at work. Like, whatever it is, there are people looking for someone who is exactly like you, and you're doing yourself and your surroundings a disservice by keeping who you are a secret. Another part of this, though, is not everyone is single or going through a self-love journey, and it's about either being past that or not there yet, and you're experiencing a situation that you need to let go of. This was the beginning of the reading with the 7 of Swords, so it's like something that you're refusing to walk away from because you're not confident about the decisions surrounding it. Again, just a repeat of this 4 of Cups. It's like Spirit keeps telling you there are things that are for you and things that are not for you, and it's like, but why? Like you're always wondering, like, but why? Like, why do I have to accept and reject things? Why do I have to use discernment or judgment? Why do I have to go through this and that and this and that? Like, why can't I just have the life experiences that are for me? Why, like, you know, just energy like that here, and just more on remembering who you are. We have the Empress out. I think it's all part of the importance here with how special you are, because the Empress is not just any woman in the deck. She's not just any queen. She's just about all of them combined. She's got it all. She's fertile, she's nurturing, she's caring, she's intuitive. She's the divine feminine. and her counterpart is the Emperor. So it's like there's power couple energy here. And I believe we're seeing more feminine energy than masculine energy, regardless of the gender. I think we're just seeing a lot of feelings surrounding what's going on with us. Because we have been in commitments, the Hierophant's about contracts and commitments and like structural situations, if you kind of want to get the gist there. But with the Three of Swords, it's like being too attached to things that are not really working anymore. They may have worked for some time, they may have worked in the past, they may work sometimes, but it's like there is disheartening energy, even heartbreak energy, just energy you're really unhappy with. That's with this Three of Swords, and the degree to how unhappy you are, it's gonna be the scale is gonna be different for each individual that's in the collective. But overall, it's just this knowing that something is special for you, either like a change that's going to create something special, or you're dealing with someone special, or you need to remember how special you are and treat yourself with that, treat yourself to your desires and your needs and make sure you're meeting those things. I think that there is an interesting energy here with some of the collective back of the deck is Nine of Swords. So just, this was a clarifier for me, the back of the deck energy. So it's Spirit's guiding me to say that some of you have expectations that are not fully in alignment with you or the situation, that the expectations could be too low or too high. Just in general, that there's an imbalance with expectations, and that's kind of what causes any disappointment or betrayal energy, or like any energy that's like this, because this is a 10 of Swords, so it's like really not feeling great. But I think this energy can be alleviated or helped. It may not disappear completely, because working on yourself is a very slow and excruciatingly painful process at times. It can be really, really slow, because it's a matter of, it's not as easy as just removing people who cause you problems. Sometimes you are your own problem, because again, we are all special in our own ways. So as much as we are the same, we are very different in a lot of ways too. Like we are, as much as we are different, we are also the same. And as much as we are the same, we are different. And you can experience most times, well, I don't want to say most times, you never know which one you'll experience with somebody when you first meet them. You may experience a lot of similarities and you're like, whoa, this is amazing, this is special, this is sacred, this is my person. But then it takes some time and you realize they're also very different than you. And that might be some of the problems here with your special person. If you're in this reading about someone else, it could just be a matter of just when you met them, you met with differences first, or you met with similarities first. Sometimes you meet with differences first, and then you find out way later that they were your person all along, and you couldn't see them because you focused on all these people who put up a front. Some people make themselves out to be what they think that you want, and then it sucks when you find out later that whoever you thought your special person wasn't your special person. That could be a very unique message for those that are in this. But if you're not in this, don't worry. There's so many messages that could apply here. But I think it's mostly a matter of how can we deal with the ways that I am special and the way that someone else is special, and how to, you know when to share your gifts and know when to share secrets. Like, know when it is safe to do with another or do with yourself something. Maybe change it up, or keeping things the same. Everyone is at different comfort levels with seeing how special they are, and also seeing how special certain scenarios are. I think there could be a placement of gratitude for everyone here in the collective, just being thankful for who you are and who and what is around you, even if it's not meeting your expectations or meeting some sort of standard that you have. The fact that you even have anything is such a wonderful thing to remember, that you could create a list of things to be thankful for almost always. And I think that the collective perhaps needs this reminder, especially when you're dealing with another person. A lot of lost feelings can come from not saying thank you or I love you enough for just the simplest things, like thanks for texting me or thanks for being you. And it may feel or seem like such a small thing or vague, but it may be just what that person needs. It is special people need special treatment. So if you find someone to be special to you, you should be treating them as such as well. That the little things mean more, and the big things, you can imagine big things are already big, so then the big things are even bigger. But yeah, let's shuffle out some more cards. What else is the collective needing to experience in this reading right now for their highest good? Okay, so I have a Two of Wands out. The decision is definitely yours. Spirit saying that the world is literally at your fingertips. Quite literally, and energetically as well. Literally meaning we have smartphone devices and computers that can access connections from all around the world. You can connect with people in another country just like that, just by having access to the internet and a device. And I think if you've been needing to make a decision and you didn't feel strongly enough about it, it's about searching for this energy you feel strongly enough towards. That sounds really vague, and I know it does, and that's because it's about this discovering another person, discovering another experience, or even discovering yourself. I think all you special people out there in my collective, you need to be researching more, maybe taking notes on your person or your project. Just understanding more on how someone works or how something works, how it's made, and how it's made can still apply to a person, because it's like you can look into their past a little bit, and someone's past makes them who they are now. So I think it's a little bit of a catch-up work with learning something enough to the point of feeling confident surrounding it. And it could be learning enough about a situation, right? We had that, why do I have to experience things that are for me and also not for me? Why can't I just have life experiences that are meant for me blah, blah, blah. The point is to strengthen you and level you up. As obvious as that may seem in the aftermath, I think it's a reminder from Spirit, because like not all of us are going through it. Some of us are about to, some of us are in the middle of going through it, and some of us are just coming out of something and it's just like everything's boring and you're like kind of discovering what next. Either way, everyone is looking to fill in an understanding about something special and knowing how to protect it and how to behave around it and how to keep it around. Because of course there's a lot of work to have and receive things. It's also a lot of work to maintain it once you have it. That way you don't lose it. It may have taken a lot of work to receive it, but if you don't maintain, you know, like you could lose it. Which is just because it lands in your lap or you have it doesn't mean it's always going to, like, that expectation that something's always going to be there because you've done the work. The work never stops. I think that the appreciation and the love, that also never stops. Like any action towards appreciating, thanking someone, loving after someone, caring after someone, that is all energy that has to keep flowing. So you have to work to keep the energy there for yourself and also with other people who are around you. And I think that Spirit wants to indicate working on your boundaries. We have 8 of Pentacles. And I was just talking about like the people around you. Not everyone around you, again, is for you. I know that's disheartening or not easy to hear because we're just like, why can't we just have the people and the experiences that we want from the start? Like, why does it have to be so hard before we get what we want? I think there is an element of just shaping your character and shaping the story to where when you do receive what you want, you would appreciate it in the right ways, because it would just hurt more to realize what you really had and how you treated it. But like many times we're on a path that mirrors us. So whatever we have experienced in the past is exactly how we have felt about our own selves at that time, whether we realize that or not. You know, there are very, very specific details with experiences that are about the other person. But the bigger picture of it is that they matched you. They ended up matching you on how you saw yourself at some point in your interactions with them. And so you inquire why we can't just have the life experiences we wanted. I think we always have that. It's just a matter of outgrowing certain things or eventually at some point deciding against something. It's this energy of, back to this, whenever this card has come up, or whenever I reference this card, it's like me saying building the confidence to walk away from something that's not yours or not for you. It's like, it was for you. There was some time where it was yours, it was your experience, you chose it. And then also at some point you decided to not choose it anymore. But then it's like a partial energy where it was really easy to choose the situation initially, but then once you've chosen the situation and learned more about it, it gets hard to change your mind because you become partial and you don't know how partial you are. If you're more partial towards being single or being at a different job, or like, you know, whatever your perspective, like wherever your perspective is, the partial energy, weighing that out, whether you're in or out, whether you want it or not. I think the message we're essentially unlocking is that the experiences were ours the entire time, and that the situation was special the entire time, but the energy faded because of lack of effort on whoever side you believe it to be on. It could be you because you don't feel the same, or it could be the other parties in the situation because they don't feel the same, or both. It could be more than one thing that's happening here. The more you learn about yourself, the more you may unlearn also about yourself. Accidentally. I think that our brains, well, it's pretty true. Like our bodies, our bodies, our human bodies have only so much capacity to hold. And so that's why I started with our brains. Like our brains can only retain so much information before it starts letting go of information that your body and your spirit deems unnecessary, to make room for information that you are currently finding necessary. So some people lose skills in doing math, like algebra 2 or like calculus, because the skill to do math is not placed in it's not in everyone's daily life. You know, math for the common collective of all would be being able to count and group up numbers. But other math is not as important than, say, for like a math teacher. A math teacher has to retain a lot of math concepts. But for someone like me, or someone who doesn't practice math daily, you may be able to let go of math skills and you'll be just fine, right? And I think that's what's happening here, to put an example to it, is that you've learned and unlearned a lot of things about yourself and didn't fully embody that concept. And then that also is occurring with all individuals around you. So they may have learned something about you that they didn't like, or you learned something about them that you didn't like, or you had a bad experience at work, you know. And like the more you have bad experiences, the more you're like, this isn't for me. And I think that it's really easy to say someone is for you when you don't know them very well. So it's this message from Spirit about how important it is to know how special and unique you are, and how hard that is to navigate already in general. And then having compassion for everyone involved when you're dealing with them, that they're as complicated as you are, and that understanding someone else is going to be just as complicated, if not more complicated, because you can read your own mind. You can't read somebody else's mind. So you have to depend and trust on them to tell you what they are thinking. And I think that's how some secrets can be a bad context. Like I mentioned a little bit on how secrets can be a good thing, where someone who doesn't share information about themselves to just anyone, like if they tell something to you about themselves that isn't readily known by very many people, that is special. The fact that they trusted you to tell you something so special about themselves. But then secrets can have a bad energy, to which like when bad experiences occur and then it's not known about, how can you process or work with it? Like how can you make something better if you don't even know that something went bad? So keeping secrets, it's just gonna happen. Information isn't for, not all information is for everyone. Like how I was saying, a math teacher will take in more math information than a normal person, and nobody really puts up any extra, like no one's really that bothered by that difference. They're like, well, that's their skill, that's what makes them special, they're really good at it, so I'll let them take in all the information. It is no secret to, other people that, like, that everything will be fine there. But with secrets, there could be, like, that was just an expansion on like information just doesn't go to everybody. Some people have preferences where they're like, I don't want that person to know about X, Y, and Z that's happening, because maybe they're a stalker or maybe they are dangerous, like they're not good for you. And so having secrets can be a good thing to protect you. Just making sure that information that would be harmful to be let out doesn't get let out. That's a good thing, right? You don't want, like, your information just displayed all over the place and then you get stalked or kidnapped or anything like that, or attacked. There are situations where some people, if you're dealing with a separation, you're seeing that someone's taking a lot of their materials and tools to hang on. I think that when there was something special, it is hard to let go of. So I think there is a small portion of the collective that is dealing with people that they need to protect themselves from. And that, so emphasis on secrets, just be mindful that secrets can separate you just by not really knowing that something bad happened and it needs to be fixed or bettered. When that energy isn't present, there could be a lot more that unravels and falls apart, because you can't properly fully address something because there's missing information. So secrets is kind of like that. The bad context would come from having missing information when it's needed. Such would be knowing in relationships or in a workplace, knowing when something bad happened and who it was, and, like, full disclosures. Having full disclosures is important when it comes to safety. But otherwise, when it comes to other secrets, if it's not harmful in any way, of course, I think it would bring you closer to people. Just having that one secret could be that, like, one layer of depth that you didn't have before, like an extra notch of depth in the connection. Because of course, once you're connected, you're going to be connected as long as you want to be, but you can deepen the connection. The deeper you go, it will be harder to get out of. So I think with this special energy, some of us in the collective are just navigating how to be single, or navigating how to be with your special person. It's like how to be single in the aftermath of having someone special for so long, and then, like, things fell apart, and it's like, how do you operate now? Like, learning who you are without that person, or learning who you are with that person. I think in general, it's learning about who you are and how to work with what's going on right now. So regardless if you have a job or a job change or a person, or you don't have a person, or you're changing from one person to another, because some people move fast. Some people, well, the way it looks is always going to appear differently for others. So some people may see certain movements as quick, and some people may see certain movements as slow. But as long as you're deciding what's, what fits and what doesn't anymore, I think overall the collective will be fine. I think that this reading is bringing forward a new understanding about all of our experiences so far, and shaping us out to be people who share more about ourselves. That our experiences, we've always chosen our experiences, even if we realize them or not. Because you chose that person even though you didn't know them very well, or you chose that job even though you didn't know like the people who work there or all this other stuff enough. You still chose it without knowing enough. So that was your own, you still chose that experience, even if it ended up being a lot of learning that it wasn't for you. You still learned more about yourself. You still learn about yourself through things that you like and through things you don't like, because you're still learning that you don't like that or that you do like it. That is, just because it was a negative context doesn't mean you didn't learn something or it didn't bring you something in the situation. And so with just cycling back to this expectations, how we could alleviate some of the problems by rebalancing our expectations. I think, well, the first message I want to bring out from that concept is relying on your own experiences to show you anything. This is gearing towards letting go of someone else's experience and a fear surrounding what you choose and how someone will experience your choices. Come back to prioritizing what your experience is like over what someone else's experience may be like. For example, in a work setting, if you are not enjoying yourself, but the people at work enjoy you, you are doing yourself a very big disservice by staying there because other people want you there. Because a lot of people want you there. It's but if you yourself are not enjoying the space, and the only thing that's making the space enjoyable is you, and everyone around you wants you to stay, that's not the scales may be imbalanced, right? Because there's so many more people who want you to stay, and you're the only one that wants to leave. But you're the one that's experiencing what you're experiencing, so you need to choose surrounding that as much as the people who enjoy you enjoy them back. But if other experiences are weighed in, like other bad experiences are weighed in with these good experiences, really weigh out how your experience is going and prioritize that over everyone else involved. And that could apply in more scenarios than just work. But what I'm saying is, like in a romantic situation, okay, or sexual, that or family, some people may have expectations for you to succeed in a very specific job placement, maybe, or they want you to do something specific. And it's like, if you don't want to do that, don't do it. It's going to upset that person. And some of you avoid doing that because that person's special to you. But you have to remember that you're special too, and that the special treatment, all this special energy surrounding special people, that's got to come from you towards yourself first. And then alignment with another can be possible. Not that it's impossible, but it's more likely to be successful. We have back of the deck energy, 3 of Pentacles. So I think there's going to be new meetings, new interactions. It looks like these individuals are in a ceremony or in some sort of building or structure. It's hard to fully, like, this card gives me different contexts when it comes up. And here I'm getting that you guys may be encountering new things, or meeting people for interviews, or meeting people on dates, or just meeting new friends, you know, going out and doing new things. And that's just surrounding this self-discovery thing with the world at your fingertips. And all this is like, when I first had this card out, it was emphasis on discovering who you are through means of like just researching and learning more about something. It could be taking a concept and just diving into it more, or taking a person and diving into who they are more. I think that's really awesome. Just seeing that here with the back of the deck energy, having new experiences is definitely going to perhaps strengthen a decision somewhere, because some of you, like how some of you in the collective were having a hard time feeling confident enough about your decision. I think it's a matter of providing yourself with more experiences or more information that would solidify how you're feeling. So some of you, it's like, if there's a special someone, you don't know them very well, or you do, you can know them however much you know them, but it's like jumping into it, learning about them, and seeing if you do want to share with them some more. Like, how much of yourself do you want to share, and how much do you hope that they would share with you? I think that has to be equal. Some of us are really hopeful, or really impatient as well, like hopeful and then also impatient. So that when something has potential, you go like 0 to 100, and it's like there's not like level-headedness in it. Because I think it gets forgotten that it could be, when you meet someone new, it's just really easy to want to fulfill what you or they think would be accepted. So it's this like giving yourself the time to discover yourself enough and discover that person or that situation enough and see, you know, is this in alignment? Is this sticking? Is this for me? And it's like, sometimes right away you find out something isn't for you and you just never choose it. But sometimes you get really, really deep in something and you thought it was for you and it wasn't, and you're like, why? Why with being lied to again, or why with someone who doesn't love me again, or some sort of energy like this. And it's from the fact of Page of Swords. A premature / immature / quick energy towards, like, I think just not knowing either yourself enough, not knowing the other person enough, or even just not knowing what you want or not knowing what the other person wants. I think that some conflict occurs just by having a hard time there. And then, like, when there's a lot that you don't know, it's hard to navigate that in general. And I think a lot of things that we begin to know, it comes through after we've experienced it. And Spirit wants to remind us to release shame and disappointment and guilt over not knowing something sooner. That it's all a part of, like, that character development and all about that strengthening and all about bringing you to a place where when you do get what you have been asking for, that you would appreciate it and take care of it properly. If you were to just receive it, it would come and go so fast. So the universe sometimes goes, what's the point if they're not even going to, like, match the energy of what they're asking for? So the universe then rather wait till you are in the energy to, so it's like, we grow up with fairy tales, kind of having this idea of what the perfectionism or the idealism, like that idea, how it's supposed to look in good standing. We have so many role models and inspiration, nodes of inspiration, but whether or not we actually experience that is different, and we try our best to experience the best, but then when it's not the best, we wonder, like, that, like, sometimes we say, oh, that was a waste of time, or like, whatever phrases you could think of right now that could be self-defeating or situation defeating. But never mind any of that. I personally believe saying any experience being a waste of time is indirectly saying that you are a waste and that you are trash, like you yourself. Because you put your energy there, you went through it, so then you're in that experience. So then covering the entire experience and saying it was a waste, that includes you in it. You think that your part in it was a waste. And I think that whether you go, like, however extreme you are in that energy, it's irrelevant. I just think that it's necessary to share that it's indirectly saying, like, whatever you did for the situation was a waste. And it's clearly not, because if you didn't do certain things in the situation, the other details of the situation could or could not have happened in the exact way, or it may have varied, Like, what I'm saying is, the experiences are set in stone. And going back in time and saying it's a waste is just you saying any part of your life is a waste. And I don't fully feel right with that. Every part of what we go through is part of the story altogether, like the whole bigger picture. And, you know, where we are now, who we are now, like, if literally the smallest detail were to be different, a lot of other things, like, you really just don't know, like, the ripple effect of, like, I guess, like, the gravity, the depth to which one thing leading to another, it's not as realized here. So I just think I just think stop saying certain things or certain experiences were a waste of time or a waste of energy, because it wasn't. It still taught you something. You still went through it. That part of your life still happened. You can't just delete it. You can't just throw it away. Even if you think it's a waste, you can't. So it's like, just the fact that you can't literally throw it away, like you can't erase it, just means it's not a waste. Even if you think it's not, because literally it's not. We can't crumple it up and like throw it in the trash and like get rid of it and never you know, like never see it again. Our memories randomly get triggered all the time, and we're like, I did not want to remember that, or I did not want to be thinking about that. But that's the very thing of, it stays as a memory so that you can access it when it's important for you to access it again, for a learning thing or for a you thing. We will randomly bring up past experiences because somehow in our current stance it's related, either in conversation or because it's just an experience that taught us something about ourselves, right? You could be in conversation and someone can say, I don't like hot air balloons. That's really random. But then you're just like, I also don't like hot air balloons. And then you're like flashing back to that one time that you hated being in a hot air balloon. And you're also sharing with this other person who's also experiencing, like sharing their experience with hot air balloons. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's really just, I don't think it's a waste, because you'll find a useful reason for the experience later on, that even if you don't find it necessary or important right now, it's still important. You're important, the people around you are important, and I think that there's some important ways we can handle one another. And I think that most of the messages came through with just reminding ourselves we're special, we can share what we want, and that's what brings it into a secret. You know, you can share everything about yourself, then you will have no secrets. Or you can share almost nothing about yourself, and anything you share about yourself is a secret. I think altogether, the message about just it's unfair that if you guys keep a lot of secrets, especially about yourself, I think it's just unfair to anybody who's looking for you, that like you're making it so hard for people to find you. So make sure that if you're looking for a special someone, that you share your special gifts and what makes you special, so that your special someone can find you. Because it's one of those things where that alignment, that perfection, it's all the time. It's all the time, as much as we don't acknowledge it. That some delays, some mistakes, some failures actually just protect us from something that would have been horrible, that were like that for sure wasn't for us. And it so wasn't for us, we never experienced it. That's why you have delays. That's why things get canceled. That's why, like, just having an expectation and sticking too close to it may be where that 10 of Swords can be, like, alleviated. Is that just remembering that everything that has happened is perfect. You are perfect. You are special. Everyone is perfect in their own ways, perfectly imperfect. And we find, like, we're all our own thing. We're perfect because we're all different. We're perfect because we're all imperfect. And what makes someone else perfect is that they are imperfectly the same as you and different in the right alignments. And the Spirit's wanting me to say, it's such a puzzle. It's like I've channeled this message before about, like, puzzle pieces. It's like there's only so many pieces that can line up and actually connect. And if you were on a path towards connecting with a puzzle piece that's not gonna fit you, you will get shown all the ways you guys don't fit. So that you will continue looking for that piece that does fit. Yeah. King of Wands, back of the deck, we have a Knight of Swords and Page of Pentacles under it too. So Spirit wants to remind us about passion. That if you don't feel strong towards it, that is okay. That it is probably for someone else. And you can still enjoy it, and you can still be around it. You could be friends. You could take it in as much as you want. But if you don't feel strong in the situation, then time to build that strength is needed, or look for that connection that is strong enough for you to decide or do towards it. That's what I'm getting with this King of Wands. Because this King of Wands is giving me, like, putting your passions into, like, your control in your hands, like putting it into more of, like, how can you do more and how can you navigate this is and it's surrounding, like, your passions and what feels fiery. Wands is fire. So I think it's really hot. It's really, I'm getting, like, 0 to 100 energy, because it's like fiery energy is very destructive, but it's also very regenerative also. And I think that's what's going on here is being careful not to be extra. I think the word I was looking for is extra, like not too much, not too little. Kind of trying to find that right energy. Trying not to burn out. Trying to do what you can, but not yeah, this King of Wands is, let's clarify it. Actually, let's get a clarifier for King of Wands, please, Spirit. Okay, so I have Ace of Wands. Oops. It was reversed, but it was like, I don't want to be reversed. So, and it made me pick it up off the ground. So whenever cards make me do that, I think it's this energy towards working on it. Like literally maybe picking up where you left off on a hobby or project or with somebody. Communicating with them that you want to do that, or in general, just working on yourself to match the energy that you're asking for. Because some of you are like, oh, I want love. I want love. Why don't I have love yet? It's because you don't fully love yourself. You can't attract or manifest someone who loves you if you don't even love yourself. You have to be the energy that you're asking for. Because like you can't ask for someone to just magically appear with the energy that you want without being that energy. They may appear as testament from the universe of, you know, you're gonna be experiencing you, and then you're gonna be experiencing someone that's not you. And I mean that both literally and metaphorically. Is you're going to just, it's gonna be a test of, you're gonna be shown what you don't want, and you're gonna be shown what you do want, and it's gonna be like, you pass the test by choosing what you do want, or you fail the test by choosing something that's not at all what you want. But I think with this Ace of Wands coming out next to the King of Wands, it's this literally like putting your hand out and grabbing it. Like literally, like maybe there's a King of Wands that you want. Like there's literally someone who's embodying King of Wands. Maybe like, because I think King of Wands, I kind of get like they're good with their stick, but it doesn't have to be that. I think it's just like someone who's really great in bed, maybe, or that they seduced you, and not only sexually, like they got you attracted, you know, to the job title or position, or to that person, or like whatever the situation was. But I think it's just like there is attraction, a lot of it at that, so much that it can get out of control, and the King of Wands is reminding you to control your urges or your energy, and it's like this control, it's in your hands more than you know, and there's opportunities more than you know. It's about having this changed perspective with yourself and how you'd been approaching and applying self. To attract what you want, you have to be what you want. So you want someone to love you, remind yourself to love yourself. Show yourself the love that you're asking for. And then it will be doubled up when someone comes in who will match that energy. You know, like that's why they call it like abundance, is because you can already give yourself everything that you're asking for and need. It may be difficult to see how or experience how, but that ability never leaves you that ability never really leaves you fully, because we have eyes to see, a voice to speak, you know, hands to create, legs to, you know, like just we have tools. And even if you're missing certain, like I'm a double leg amputee, and I just said like legs to walk. And it's like there's adaptive tools too, where I use prosthetic legs, and I get around without my prosthetic legs as well. So it's like you have always had the access to meet your needs, your wants, and meet your needs and wants of your person. But it's just putting in this work, putting in like more control factors or more conditions that would reveal what to do. Back to like going onto the internet and like researching, you could research how to seduce someone if you need to get better at that. You could research how to build your own business if you want to do that. You could, the whole world is at your fingertips. So literally anything that you can think of, you're thinking of it because you're thinking of it because it's for you in some degree. And you have to, like, you wouldn't think of it if it wasn't a part of your story in some way. But whether or not you make it a part of your story is a different thing, right? Like, you can show a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So it's like you can, some of you have all these thoughts running through your head about what to do, but I think some of you get stuck in your head because of confidence. Back to confidence is like, that's okay. I think then build that confidence, build the information, build the connection that you are wanting. Like tap into that, tap into resources related to it. And those resources are going to be very specific to whatever your choices are. So if it's like a romantic thing, sexual thing, you're like literally needing to communicate with that person more, plan things out with that person more. But if it's like a project, it's about looking into mentorships and looking into programs that, like workshops and programs that teach you, or following pages that do what you already, like, that are already doing what you want to do, getting advice from people who do what you like, who do what you aspire to be, asking them relevant questions about their journey and how, and not really comparing, but noticing how your journey has been similar to theirs, and how you can, like, your journey is going to be different than theirs, of course, but you can take the similarities there and expand on, you could just expand in general with similarities and differences. But with mentorships, they're literally like showing you how to be that role before you're in the role. And so that's just some examples of resources to tap into to get more, like, you know, be what you want and be around what you want to get what you want. Let's see now, back to the deck. It's showing justice reverse, guys. I think that there's a large injustice occurring, mostly on basis that I just keep hearing the word authenticity over and over again. That you special people in the collective, you're special but not behaving special. that you're keeping a lot of who you are a secret because you're worried or scared about being different. But you will be anyway. Like, you'll be the same and different as someone anyway, whether you share it or show it or not. So just this reminder, you're doing yourself an injustice because you're making it hard for someone to find you. Like, the people who are trying to find you, that, you know, those people who are like, I'm looking for the love of my life, like, why haven't they come in yet? They're literally waiting for you to express yourself. So you're doing the entire situation an injustice if some of you are not expressing authentically or expressing at all. I think that's a very strong message to come through. And then behind it, I just did this, and it was the 9 of Pentacles reverse. So it's like this independence. It's this independent journey that some of you have been neglecting. Not all of you. Not everyone is in this reverse energy. Some of you are 9 of Pentacles generally, and just need, like, your little reminder that being authentic is just fine. That's because it is hard to be. It's hard not to be afraid of every part, like, of the whole part of you. You know, like, we share what feels safe, and then we hide what doesn't feel safe. And I think that to the degree to which you hide or share, of course it's going to be different for everyone, but if you're hiding a lot, you'll feel safe to do more one day, right? Because some of you, if you don't feel safe, don't make me pressure you to express more. If it's not safe for you to express, it's not safe for you to express. But I think then the message for those of you that don't have safe expression, easily accessible, find a space where it is safe to express, and give yourself some time to go there either every now and again or more often, whenever you need it. Like, grant yourself that a space to safely express, even if it's not regularly, or if it's not in your home space. At least find a space. That way you can be more comfortable and express more as you feel safer. Some of you, it's always been a safe kind of space to do it, but you just prefer not to. I think the fear may be the scales with how much of it is internal versus external. It is, you'll know that detail for yourself, and how much of it is a you thing, like you just being in your mental about it. That's a start. And then once you get out of your mental, you may experience people who put you back into not feeling safe. Like, there's going to be experiences that show you why you never felt safe, and then experiences that show you that it is okay to feel safe around certain people. And navigating that is going to be, it's going to be a little rocky. This Justice card is going to be like, you're going to be making judgment calls. You're going to be going through it with certain connections as you expand more. But it's like, so long as you were living a life that wasn't authentic, the people around you and their energies around you weren't really authentic either. And that gets revealed when you shift that part of yourself from not expressing to expressing. When you don't express, it'll just be really easy, like, Some people will be easy to be around, some people will be hard to be around. And those details will shift as you express more or less, and as you let people around more or less. Like, you'll just learn so much about who to bring around and when. You may connect with people over special gifts, and you only connect with them over that talent or that event or situation. The more you know about yourself, the more you can connect and, you know, share secrets or not, or share who you are or not. And I think that I didn't expect this message to be so layered, but altogether, if you'd been lying to yourself, then you'd been lying to other people, and those people were also lying to you. And if however much lies, or like where you weren't authentic, however much that was, it's going to be done and undone. Like the situation will become stronger or fall apart according to how you are shifting. So things that are falling apart is because that part of you is not part of you anymore. Like the part of you that resonated with certain friends, certain family members, certain career placements, interests, hobbies, all that, you know, those parts can fall away from you, and so do those things that are aligned with that. So when you shift, other things will shift. So when you express yourself more authentically, more authentic people will be in your life. And that's a beautiful thing, but you have to also be willing to let go of those that were not authentic during a period where you were not authentic with yourself and those around you. And that could be rippled out with so many different energies. You can apply that with love, right? How I was saying earlier, if you don't love yourself, you'll be in connections with, like, your strongest connections will be people who don't love you. Like, you're still going to have people who love you around, right? We have variable experiences because everything and everyone around us is so same and different in whatever ways. And so as much people there are around you, if you don't love yourself, the more prevalent or stronger connections will be people who resonate with how you feel towards yourself. Like, you would repel people who love you and then attract people who hate you because you hate yourself. But then it'll be like, it's not that black and white, because obviously if they made it really obvious they hate you, then you'd be like, why do I have you around? Right? So they have to like hide that to some degree. And that's what makes certain things difficult to navigate, is because maybe you didn't realize how you felt towards yourself, and then you wonder why certain people like treated you the way that they did. Is like this not recognizing that it was a mirror, like the importance was mutual. The importance on the lesson and the situation was mutual. But it was mutual, but the focus was on them rather than yourself. Because it's easy. We're in our bodies, and we don't get to see ourselves in our bodies unless we're in front of a mirror or on camera. Otherwise, like, other people see us more than we see ourselves. So the focus was easily put on someone else, but the who gets left with the work? You get left with the work. You don't just blame and expect someone to do the healing work when they've hurt you. you know, you're responsible for healing yourself. And then if you want to, you know, be responsible for healing more than just yourself, that's a duty you take on or you don't take on, right? I'm a healer. I'm taking on trying to heal other people, but that's not something that is an obligation. You know, like your only obligation is the responsibility of yourself. And then kids if you have them, but other than that, like you you choose the additional responsibilities. And so we can't hold someone responsible for how we feel, even if their actions led to how we feel. How we feel is up to us and what we do about it and XYZ. And though that person did the action, you chose to have that person around for them to be able to do the action that upset you. So some of us in the collective need that reminder that you still chose the experience, even if it was like an out of control because it was their behavior or their action. You can choose not to have them around or have them around less, or you can still choose to have them around. We had that back of the deck Justice, but I really just want one more card here for just strengthening that last message. Okay, so I have a handful of cards. I have 3 that popped out in my lap and then 2 that came out on the floor. So I'll go through all of it. We have the High Priestess, the Page of Wands reverse, and we have the 9 of Swords reverse. So earlier in the reading, we had that 10 of Swords, and now it's reduced to a 9, and it's also reverse. The 10 of Swords was reverse, and so is the 9 of Swords. And we have this Page and the High Priestess. Like, all of these are reverse. And I don't fully get a negative context other than listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition always, but listen to it more fiercely during this time and space, because there is a shift that's going to occur. Willingly or unwillingly, I think energetically for most of the collective, it's a willing shift of being receptive to new and receptive to love. With the High Priestess here, then after it Page of Wands and that 9 of Swords, I think that you are going to be... The Page of Wands is giving me it's like giving me this energy of like letting go of a fling, or letting go of like half-ass energy or partial energies, or any energies that couldn't fully give to you or fully give to the situation the way that is desired. I think that if there's anyone that's betraying you, lying to you, doing something behind your back for any reason, it's going to be revealed to you during this time in order to help you make space for the special needs in your life. Those special needs are going to be surrounding, you know, when I say special needs, it's like, yes, there is special, like I'm special needs because I have prosthetic legs. But when I'm saying special needs is like, because you are special, you are going to have a very, very unique set of wants and desires and necessary stuff that another person won't necessarily ask for. And so I think it's just this, to be able to give yourself space or the capacity for that, you're going to need to heavily listen to your intuition, especially surrounding upsetting stuff. It's going to be upsetting, but what's more upsetting is not listening to your intuition and being around stuff for longer than you want to, or like than you should. So there's that. And the last two messages that fell on the floor was this 10 of Wands and the Sun card. I like seeing it like this to end the reading, actually, because the sun is very radiant. Like, I think that what wasn't obvious or clear before is just shining so brightly. You're like, I rock, I'm awesome, and my person or my situation, like, all, you know, like, you're just coming into like strength and solidifying like what is and what is not. And the sun, I think, yeah, just more on the sun. I think it's just this, just validating the experiences for what they are. Just like, if there was a struggle or cloudedness, you know, if there was any cloudedness or just confusion, like, we've released a lot of things that were causing us confusion or causing us to stay stuck or stay, like, this 10 of Wands reverse is showing that you released some baggages or like released this extra energy that you didn't really understand or know what to do, or like it's just this extra stuff. And a lot of it is, I think we're just going full circle again because we have that 7 of Swords. You're feeling fine, because you released this extra stuff, whatever you weren't willing to release or whatever you were still stuck on. You're not, I think this is showing that you're not so stuck anymore. I want to emphasize one last thing with the special needs, because I did mention like the me with prosthetic legs, like I'm a special needs person. So some examples with that is like, I've openly talked about this on my channel, but amputee individuals, depending on where you're amputated, like I'm double leg amputations. So obviously there's a lot of sweat glands that are on your feet. I don't have those sweat glands. And so, but I sweat the same amount as the normal human, but I have less glands to sweat from. So physically it looks like more, but it's not. And I really used to feel abnormal because I didn't know very special facts about me, a special person. And I'm not just saying like disabled people are special, like everyone is special in their own ways. How obvious or how revealed it is also unique to the individual. How much they share, how much of it is known, and how much of it is obvious. Like I can't really hide my physical disability, as some other people can hide their disabilities or what makes them special. And like, so, but just having this knowing, okay, like radiating to myself who I am like accepting who I am was one thing. And then the next step to that is like taking that fact and going a little bit deeper. And that's why I had that sweat gland example with amputees, because I thought I was really abnormal. I could not accept or love myself fully or properly because I didn't fully embody the amputee part of myself. I tried so hard to just be a human with normal legs, instead of prosthetic legs. And the longer I kept doing that, I kept thinking that my sweat was not normal, and it is normal. Sweating is a normal human thing, and being an amputee is also a normal human thing, just for just the individuals that have to experience that part of their, that thing in their story. Because some people have car accidents or other sicknesses or accidents that create the disability that I'm speaking on. But what I'm saying is, what makes someone strong is knowing who they are. And I'm a strong amputee individual because I accept the amputee part of myself. And being an amputee doesn't make me any less a woman, and being a woman doesn't make me any less of an amputee. They could be one and the same. Like, they could both occur at the same time or be totally different things. Because what makes me a woman doesn't make me an amputee, and what makes me an amputee doesn't make me a woman, but they can both occur at the same time. I think that there's a lot that is being radiated about like what's going on here with like what to release and what not to release, like knowing who you are not, what's for you, what's not for you, like, and how the certain things change and shift, how you change and shift, how other people change and shift, because you're not the only one shifting here. Someone else can change and shift too and make decisions around you. Just as much as you make decisions around other people, they are making decisions around you too. And I think that there's a lot less on other people energetically and a lot more on you, just with this focus shift. Going from focusing on how other people feel, think, being afraid of how they'll receive you, like just not worrying about that at all, and just going to, I am me and people will take it or leave it. And people are them, and I can also take it or leave it, and I think that's a valuable thing to remember as well. I'm curious what the back of the deck. The back of the deck energy is the Chariot reverse. Oh, I see now. I was confused at first with the, because I was like, Chariot reverse, why are we doing that? Why are we holding back? Why are we like not moving? Because that's what I get with the Chariot reverse is, but behind it I also see Seven of Wands reverse and the Emperor reverse. Someone, counterpart, is sort of getting over themselves and are on a journey to you. You may know that, because not everyone knows this card came out earlier. We had the Empress earlier in the reading. So, but we have the Emperor reverse. So I think Spirit's trying to say that your counterpart is coming. or your counterpart is around, however you interpret that is up to your situation. But it's this thing of someone's getting over their mental fears and their physical fears. Like they're just really getting over some of these problems that weren't really problems, like holding back, like this, where is it? Oh, I put it down. The Chariot card. Someone's holding back, but they're not going to be holding back for much longer, because this card is like fighting with yourself and fighting with other people, and it's reversed. So I think it's an end of an era with that energy, that when you're ready, your person's going to be ready too. And that is so exciting. That is so exciting. Like, I'm getting really giddy here with just this Emperor reverse. I know it's reverse, so it's like the Emperor's not in his energy yet. It's like you are the Empress, whether you're male or female. You are one of the counterparts, and your counterpart is reciprocating, is like they're mirroring you, because you are the Empress. But remember, you're in this reading trying to get through something, or like unlock something, and literally what you're unlocking is this is the Emperor. It's like your empire, like, or your person. Like, that's amazing. I can't wait for this to come in for you guys. But the when or how or like all of that, that's something you navigate. So how fast something happens, that's as fast as the work you're willing to do on yourself and for yourself. And back of the deck, Spirit wants to emphasize, don't focus on what's fallen apart and what's ending, because this good connection, this counterpart energy, it's right, like it's like right there. You just have to like turn around, right? Like maybe have a turnaround of perspective, a turnaround of energy. But that's something that gets worked on, right? That you may have to actively work on turning something around. And once that energy has been turned around, you do have to work towards maintaining and strengthening it. But there was a lot we didn't know, or a lot that we needed to understand. And now that we do know, now that we've gotten through the reading, you could do more with what you know, and your Emperor is coming in. I'm so excited for you guys. I just hope that you guys will, take from this reading and process what what the messages mean to you, and how it applies to you, and where it goes, like who and what and where and why and who's in, like all the details. You have to navigate that and apply. But look at that. And look at this with okay, this is like someone holding back. But this is like the energy of, this energy is not going to be like this for very long. It's not going to be like holding back energy for very long, because someone's working on themselves, you or your person or both, and there's going to be communication. There's going to be communication. And it could be signing a contract, signing a lease, signing onto a job, maybe getting married. You could be going, communication. Someone could be dropping into your DMs. Like there's so much that could be here with this Ace of Swords. It's just like this divine grant of swords is like communication, but I think just any of the aces are opportunities. And I think that they are going to be presented to you. It's a matter of whether you or not you've done the work to see them as opportunities. If you haven't done the work, you won't see, you'll look at the opportunities as obstacles. If you have done the work, you'll be fine. Like you'll take in the opportunities, and they won't be like they'll be more obvious. But so I think that's it for you guys. I just really don't want to screw up the way that this whole reading wrapped up. This is such beautiful energy. Even though there is so much to unpack, I think that's the beauty of it, is that we've now just made space for more, you know? And so thank you for tuning in. And this was Magic with Melly. I am Melly, and you guys are magical. We shared space, and I look forward to tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's Monday, so there's going to be a video tomorrow. I'm sorry about missing last week, but I think the break was well deserved and earned, and it helps me come back stronger. And so thank you so much. Have a good night, have a good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are, wherever, whenever. And I'll see you guys soon.